Transformers, 80s cartoon, toy line, franchise older than most of my audience. Look, at this point, I'm pretty sure this franchise is famous enough for people to know what I mean when I say truck turns into robot. And look, I'm not an 80s kid. I was born in the mid-2000s. My childhood was pretty much shows other than Transformers. So essentially, my opinions will be coming from someone who was born 16 years after the original cartoon ended and only really started in 2024. With that said, I managed 3 Transformers series, and I'm gonna talk about them, give my opinions, and rank them at the end. So let's do like the Autobots and roll out.
You're a human, Jack. Can you build me a small intestine?
Embarrassing!
This was the first one I watched and the longest, but worth every second. Transformers Prime kicked off the Aligned continuity, and regardless of why that exists, the show itself, amazing. It gave me what I think is the best of the franchise has to offer in terms of storytelling and character writing. The Transformers don't feel like robots who just so happen to turn into vehicles. They all feel like actual people because the writing gives them personalities, flaws, history. Starting with the Autobots, Optimus Prime shouldering the burden of his entire faction, Bulkhead being good-hearted but predictable in the funniest ways possible. Ratchet's frustration and outburst makes it pretty relatable. I needed that! Bumblebee. Well, for someone who doesn't even speak until the end of the 3rd season, his actions and expressions really does sell his youthful energy, though I did like his voice. And RC, who I genuinely think is the best written Autobots in the show. Her trauma, her rivalry with Arachnid, everything with Tailgate and Cliffjumper, it's all amazing character writing. And God forbid the humans actually add something too. Jack, Miko, and Raph have their roles, their bonds with the Autobots, their own spotlight episodes. More importantly though, personalities. Fowler is unironically my favorite human character, because really, when you think of it, he really is trying to keep his composure while dealing with intergalactic alien civil war. Mecha is also pretty one note, but the fact that they still terrify both the Autobots and Decepticons deserves their credit. But speaking of Decepticons, oh boy, who cooked here? Megatron's design honestly grew on me with that gladiator vibe and the aura farm he often does in the show. Starscream is still the scheming coward, but also legitimately intelligent and ruthless. The man who's the first to kill an Autobot, Cliffjumper, in episode fucking 1. And Soundwave? Yeah, forget it. The minute he shows on screen, I'm sold. This man, Soundwave, is the most terrifying Decepticon. He doesn't talk, he hears everything, fights like he's several steps ahead. Even captured, this man doesn't crack. He straight up deleted his own data and hit the Autobots with the Soundwave Superior, Autobots Inferior. Legendary. Absolutely. Oh, and let's not sleep on Shockwave. Emotionless mad scientist should be an oxymoron. Not this guy. The story itself is also intense. It's not just stop the Decepticons, it's restoring a dead world. It's a civil war nobody asked for. It's Optimus and Megatron's broken dynamic haunting every flashback. The stakes feel real, the history feel weighty, and you always get the sense that the war costed them everything, especially their precious planet. But it's not flawless. Shockwave really feels underused. The Predacons hyped up in Season 3, underused as well, with Predaking being the only one used, and even then he kinda grew annoying after a while. Arachnid had a great rivalry with RC, but she ends up being, well, exactly what she is. She's a villainous thirst trap that literally ends with her on the moon eating the Insecticons. Lame. Some episodes just exist, I guess. The Shouted Dimension thing shows up for once, then suddenly matters again for Soundwave's exit. Like, he's not even defeated. What the fuck? And Unicron? Okay, so the fandom hyped him up as an unstoppable cosmic evil, but Prime we get a grumpy old rock that yells a lot. Additionally, while I don't agree with the fact that Optimus is bland or has no character, I can see why people think this way, considering Prime writes his character arc in the background. This is easy to miss, especially when everyone else's arc is front and center. Hell, for a time I genuinely thought RC is the main character. She's one of the first we see in the show, she's the first to interact with the human, and her arc got multiple episodes. We got to know her history more than practically everyone else here. But honestly, the characters alone makes the entire worth watching. Amazing show. Hopes the quality keeps up.
Maybe you should stop talking logic to a creature that has no head!
Oh, shut the up!
Well, that's a downgrade. Transformers Animated was... Okay, let me start with the good because I don't actually hate this show. I actually like that it's slice of life. Transformers can absolutely pull off slice of life when it's written well, and here it works more than I could say for something like Diamond is Unbreakable, where it hurts more than it helps. The Autobots discovering Earth's customs feels relatable, like kids growing up and learning about the world around them. That vibe sticks with you as an adult because half the time you're just sitting there like, oh damn, I really was Optimus learning what sex is for the first time. The Autobots being younger rookies with Ratchet as the old man gives the team a fun dynamic. Speaking of Ratchet, his whole arc with Omega Supreme and RC, genuinely fantastic, great emotional beats. Best written Autobots in my opinion. But now we gotta talk about the stuff that fell short for me. And look, I get it, a lot of you love Animated. I get the show has its fans, and I'm not telling anyone they're wrong for loving this show. But coming off of Prime, the Autobots and Decepticons here feel so shallow in comparison. I don't feel any real stakes, personal, emotional, or otherwise. Half the time is because the entire war is literally all over MacGuffin they destroyed in the first season. Good job! And the other half is because the characters themselves don't give the war any weight. The Autobots here, I don't feel like their flaws held them back. They feel like quirks for the sake of being quirky. Look at how quirky I am, guys. Woohoo! Fuck me. Bulkhead especially. Cause bro, the hell's a painting gonna do in this war? Make the Decepticons cringe so hard they fly away with their tails between their legs? Speaking of Decepticons, outside of Black Arachnia, Starscream, and Megatron, they're just goofy, haha silly kids villain who feel ripped straight out of a Saturday morning cartoon you forgot about the minute you grow up. They don't feel dangerous, they don't feel competent, they feel like they're nerfed for the sake of comedy. What little there actually is. Oh, and character arcs? They don't end. They just stop. There's no payoff, no conclusion, no emotional weight. They just drop off the map. Black Arachnia especially pisses me off. Holy shit. She had everything set up to be amazing. I genuinely would have felt bad for her if her backstory and ending weren't so stupid. She doesn't feel like a tragic victim of circumstances. She feels like an idiot who thought it'd be a great idea to run off with two dumbasses to a planet that clearly wanted them dead. The whole situation doesn't feel tragic, just stupid, and it just ends. It ends with her abandoned on an island. Bullshit. Oh, and speaking of one of those idiots, Sentinel Prime. I don't mind the fact that he's an egotistical prick. That's fine. But give me one reason why he has his position. One! Because nothing about this man screams qualified to be an authority figure. He screams nepotism hire who fails upwards faster than Sonic can say, "You're too slow." Animated has good ideas, but the execution makes everything feel like it's meant to be light and cute instead of impactful. It just doesn't land for me. And the characters most affected by this? Shockwave and Soundwave. You know, the two Decepticons I praised in Prime for being absolute monsters. Those two? Let's see how Animated takes them and interprets them. Shockwave didn't get the worst treatment. That honor goes to Soundwave. But, Animated Shockwave doesn't feel like he matters in the grand scheme of anything. Yeah, he's a spy, he's a double agent. But who are the two characters he actually outsmarts? Sentinel Prime and Bumblebee? A rookie still learning, and a guy whose entire personality is, "I'm loud and incompetent." Shockwave defeating these two isn't an accomplishment, it's amateur hour. And his voice? Bro sounds like a tired old man who lost his glasses, not a war criminal who terrified an entire planet. They turned Shockwave into someone who doesn't feel threatening at all. Compare that to Prime Shockwave, who also felt inconsequential. He still manages to feel threatening by facing off the Autobots, including Ultra Magnus, and even recovered after RC shoots him in his one red eye. Plus, he was actually intimidating with that voice. Animated Shockwave only wishes. Oh, but Soundwave. Poor Soundwave got it so much worse. Gone is the silent spy whose aura screams, "I'm watching you." Animated rewrites him as a revolutionary? Wow, I'm shaking. I'm so intimidated. Truly peak terror right there. Not. Okay, to be fair, Decepticon that controls technology in a city practically filled with technology doesn't sound like a bad idea and could lead to interesting confrontations. Too bad execution is not Animated's strong suit. He gets 3 episodes, 2 of them a 2-parter, and after all that build-up, none of his accomplishments matter. There's no aura, no menace, no threat, nothing that even resembles Soundwave I praised in Prime. He's not creepy, he's not dangerous, he's not important, he's not anything, he's nothing. Soundwave went from Soundwave superior to Soundwave mediocre. Lockdown was a treat though. A Cybertronian bounty hunter who doesn't care about factions is always a good concept. And his dynamic with Ratchet actually gave Ratchet genuine growth. Their whole backstory, real solid stuff right there. But of course, he only gets 2 episodes. Damn it. The humans who I praised in Prime as well, yeah, none of them landed for me. Especially Sorry, who becomes generic anime protag number 1070. Fuck all! And don't get me started on the damn human villains who feel like they escaped Batman the Brave and the fucking Bold. Spider-Man wouldn't even be dealing with these guys on his downtime. Ugh. Also, the Constructicons are the most pointless factions ever. I mean, do they even count as a factions? They're just 2 drinking buddies that all go over car boobies and a midget with a temper. What the fuck even was the Constructicon? Seriously. Overall, I didn't enjoy this one much. If you like slice of life Transformers, cool. This one's probably hit for you. But coming off Prime, this felt like a massive downgrade.
What's with you two? My gearbox hanging out or something?
Why's your dick hard?
So this is the most recent one I watched, and honestly, my only real problem isn't even the animation. I knew exactly what I was walking into visually when it looks like a PlayStation game. My issue is that it takes a while, like 13 to 15 episodes, for the plot to actually wake up. It's like watching Kamen Rider Agito, where the story takes its sweet, precious time to get anywhere, and I was sitting here being like, hello, plot, you gonna show up or what? But once it does get going, oh boy, the story becomes surprisingly tense. The character arcs land hard, especially Dinobot and Black Arachnia. The beast modes are actually a really cool concept, and would like to see more Transformers shows that do this. Even if furry Transformers is now a thing in my head, god damn it. Plus the animation, yeah, it's dated. I mean, fucking look at it. But that's the part of the charm. Watching it is like watching a time capsule where you get to see the peak of CGI at the time. The Maximals feel like a genuine squad of old buddies. Dinobot is the antisocial warrior carrying 90% of the show's testosterone. Cheetor is the reckless young fighter trying way too hard. Optimus Primal is shockingly a good leader. Calm, wise, holds the group together like a good father figure, surprisingly. Rat Trap is the sarcastic little gremlin who somehow manages to pull his weight. Rhinox, big, smart, cool, I like him. They feel like an actual team, and every dynamic I can buy, especially Rat Trap and Dinobot. The Predacons at first, one-note villains, absolutely a product of their time. But as the series goes on, they slowly transform into real threats. But honestly, Megatron carried the entire faction on his gigantic T-Rex back. And now for the stars of the show, Black Arachnia and Dinobot. Black Arachnia here is fantastic. She actually feels like a character. No thirst trap like Prime's Arachnid, or a moronic backstory like Animated's Black Arachnia. She's all gas, no bullshit! Because of her rebellious characterization and her history as a Maximal, her switching to the Maximal sign feels earned, and her relationship with Silverbolt surprisingly works way better than I think it has any right to be. Though seriously, what's with shows at this time and their innuendos? Like, yeesh, we got away with a lot worse back then. Dinobot? Dinobot actually has the best arc in this show. There's just something about a character who doesn't reveal their true colors until their final moments that just hit different. Like, you always suspect you really know who they are, but isn't confirmed until they die, telling you everything you already felt. It hits way harder than I think it needs to. Him coming back though was a choice that they made, but at least it didn't undercut his original death, and he still gets a clutch win to save Primal and the Maximals. So you know, I can't be too mad. Plus, the G1 connection is pretty superficial, but the show uses it really well enough. In addition, while the G1 concept, in my opinion, is pretty superficial, I think it's used really well here, as it's used for an actual cool twist and a genuine tense storyline, rather than just fan service for the sake of it. This is a great series. Slow start, but the payoff was absolutely worth the while. So here's my ranking, with Prime at number 1, Beast Wars at number 2, Anime at number 3. These three, from what I understand, are the most well-known shows outside of G1, but there's still plenty more Transformers content out there for me to experience. I'll update my Transformers journey soon enough. Till then, Transformers, eat good, take care everyone. Oh, and one more thing.
And a Merry Christmas to you too.